A month just ended, so you know what that means? Actually, you probably don't know what it means, so let me explain that real quick. You might know this, you might not, but whenever it's the birthday of a Genshin character minus Aloy, I will try to draw them for their birthday, and this video is a recap for all the drawings I did in February this year. I started pretty late this month because I started this month. So, only 2 characters today. Kokomi and drum roll, please. Bennett! Because it's finally his birthday, but we'll talk about him later. First, Kokomi! Honestly, I really like her design with the pinks and blues, also the fish motif. And I have to admit, I do like her story quest. But her playstyle is it's just not for me, you know? Honestly, I'm really proud of this drawing. I really went out of my comfort zone quite a bit for this one. Because, for one, it's a Genshin character with a complicated design. It would probably put most people out of their comfort zone drawing this. And also, I drew a hand that isn't in a pose that looks like it's laying flat. And considering how I normally struggle doing that, I think it turned out pretty good. So, I guess expect more hands in future drawings. I don't know. I also tried doing more complicated hair in this one, and I think it turned out well. But there's one very specific thing that bugged me for the entire drawing. The vision. Visions are so hard to draw. Whether it be the element or the vision case, they're just so hard to draw without tracing it, so I took a picture of the 3D model and just added the vision to the picture. So, as you can see here, I'm tracing it. But yeah, that's what I did for the vision. It's horrible, I know, but it's the only way I could do it without it looking weird, and it would bug me for, forever, I guess, if I didn't do it. And actually, about that vision, the vision you saw me draw, that wasn't, the final vision that I drew, because I guess I drew it again later on or something. I don't really remember, but yeah. So I redrew it later on, after I did the coloring. Yeah, you heard me. After I did the coloring. So after I did the coloring, I just, I redrew the vision, and I did another separate coloring for the vision. It's weird, okay? It's just weird. That's enough about the vision, though. I think I'm done talking about that. So, one thing I tried with this one was coloring the background first before actually doing the colors on the character. The reason I did this was because I heard somewhere, I don't remember where, I think it was on YouTube or something, that if you do the background first, it helps you with picking the colors of your drawing and stuff. And it helps you with color theory, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to learn color theory, or at least having a very sad attempt to, because school isn't teaching me, so yeah, it's a thing, I guess. While I'm doing the fish in the footage, let me just say that I don't know how to draw water, so I just took a picture of water, or a water texture, from the Ibis Paint asset library, and just used that and edited it a bit to use for the fish. So sorry if that bothers you or something, but other people do stuff like that, so why can't I? You guys can see the Wi-Fi Japanese design looking patterns like Kokomi's sleeve, right? So for that, I just drew one of them. Then I just duplicated it multiple times and put it in random places. I put all of them in one folder. I added a clipping mask onto the folder and did a little gradient for that and lowered the opacity. So that's how I did that part, if you were wondering. Now for the shading, I decided to do something a little bit different, because normally I would just use a dark purple for the shading, but I decided to use a dark magenta for the shading instead, because I wanted a warmer lighting, you know? I don't know why I wanted a normal lighting, considering the background, but yeah, it's a thing. But you know what? There's actually, 2 specific parts where I didn't exactly use that type of shading, like the magenta. It's specifically with her choker thingy and, the fish, because obviously there's, no shading on there. I mean, there is, there's a gradient, but I wouldn't really call it shading, you know? But some people might, so that's why I mentioned it. And also, in, about, a second or something, like a few seconds, you're going to see how I did the silky sleeves. And honestly, I was really, and I mean really, struggling with that. Like, see here, I did that. So, yeah, I ended up deciding to just do my normal shading, add blur. Then I added, like, add glow with, like, white or something to the parts where it doesn't need shading. And I also blurred that and lowered the opacity. So, that's how I did that. It's, quite interesting. Honestly, I don't really think it works with, like, my art style, but, you know, it is what it is, and I think it works well for now. I will try and figure out how I'm going to do that in the future, but, you know, for now, I feel like it's good. Oh, now we're at the hair? Okay, yeah, the highlights. The highlights were really hard because, you know, the highlights are similar color to her hair because, you know, her hair's already light and it's kind of hard to go lighter. So, yeah, I made it brown, and then I lowered the opacity of that, and, yeah, that's how I did the highlights. And you can see that I'm also doing, like, a similar method that how I did the sleeves to, like, her headpiece horn wing thingies. I don't know what they are. Now, around this point, I'm already a couple hours in, and this is when I make quite a big mistake. Yeah, you see I did Gaussian blur. And then I realized, hey, I forgot to color the vision. So, yeah, I just not frantically, but I undid the Gaussian blur and did the vision. Like, I added little sparkles to it. I don't think you can see it, but I think it looks good. Because, you know, some people zoom in for no reason. Like me, like, I like, admiring specific parts of other people's drawings. So I zoom in. So, yeah, after that, I added some effects and erased it a bit. So, yeah. I also, like, recentered it to the middle because it was kind of, like, on the side instead of being in the middle. So, yeah. Now, that's the end of drawing numero uno. But before we move on to the next drawing, I would like us to turn our eyes to this monstrosity of a drawing. Look at it. Look at the horrible eyes, the horrible arm. Look at the horrible way that I drew the cake's icing. It's horrible. I absolutely hated it. I was supposed to do another pose for the arm which doesn't have the hand, but oh well, that turned out bad, so I didn't draw it. I absolutely hated it, and I was already like 1 or 2 days in, and it was literally 2 days until Benny's birthday, and I would never have the chance to post a video on his birthday ever again, because he's born on a leap year. So, you know what I did? I decided to draw Chibi Bennett, and it turned out a lot better. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So yeah, for Chibi Bennett, I decided to keep the fact that I am drawing him holding a cake. Yeah, I like the cake. I wanted to keep it. Except I did not want to draw such a hard cake this time, so I decided to do a green cake with dandelions in it because, you know, there was like a scene in his, hangout quest with the dandelions, so that there weren't any dandelions, so I decided to give him dandelions in this cake instead. It isn't made out of dandelions, of course, because that would be, I feel like that would be disgusting, but the cake has dandelion design on it. And ignore how horrible the eyes look like. I fixed that later on. It's just a sketch anyway. So the line art I decided to do, yeah, all the same, with... You know, I could have done the thick lines on the outside, thin lines on the inside, like a certain YouTuber I watch, which, like, honestly, I did that at some parts, but most of it I just used the same width of the lines. So, yeah, no, I didn't really do that. But, yeah, I really like Benny. It's so sad that he's born on a leap year, though. It's just sad. Like, I couldn't imagine what it's like to be born on, like, December 25, because, it's on Christmas Day, so you don't get as many presents, but born on a leap year, like, that's even worse. That's even worse than being born on Christmas Day or close to Christmas Day. Like, honestly, that's even worse, because you only get to celebrate your real birthday every 4 years. Like, that sucks. Sad Benny. I haven't built him. He's like, I think level 40 the last time I checked. Oh no, I'm lazy. I'm lazy to build him. But Micah Ching is level 40 and does like 2k damage because she has a lot of crit rate and crit damage. Because Harbinger of Dawn. But yeah, I decided to also go for a slightly limited color palette on Benny because, well, I wanted it to be easier on myself. The eyes don't count though. The eyes, I went all in for all the colors and all the different shades of green. And I just realized Noelle's have green eyes and like whitish hair. Anyway, it's just a coincidence. Yeah, I went all out on the eyes. I didn't really care about how much colors I used for the eyes. I didn't care. And I also used a bit of black there. I don't think you can notice it though. So anyway, yeah, you can see me doing the cake that I mentioned earlier. And I don't remember if that's the font that I made for the cake. Like, I used it for something else. I don't know if that's a font I made or just, one of the default fonts. But yeah. And here's the shading. I also go in with the magenta color. Yeah. It's slightly simpler shading, but it's still shading. And I think this Benny turned out a lot better than a certain which Benny. I also kind of did that sort of highlights. I don't know why I did that, but I think it looks good. I also kind of forgot to do his eye makeup, but I added that in, as you could see a few seconds ago. Yeah, it's cool. And you can see, like, on the, I think top left corner, that it has all the colors I added. Yeah. I think Benny's cool. I like Benny. I like his personality. I like his story. You know what? Initially, I really hated Benny's design. I really hated it. But then I did his story quest, and then I started liking the character. So yeah, it's really interesting with that sort of stuff. Also, for the background, I just took pictures in actual Genshin Impact at different times of day, and then I just posterized it and stuff. Oh, and here's the background of Benny's drawing. I took it from Star Snatch Cliff, I think. So yeah, at sunset in the game. So yeah, that's it for Benny. Hi, editing Shariana here. Or should I say, Shariana that just finished recording over here. So yeah, sorry about the video coming middle of March. I will try not to do that for the March recap. I got busy with life and stuff. I did actually record half of Kokomi's part at the beginning of March, but then life got hectic and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will try to make a proper end screen sometime. And Noelle is nearly done, so expect that video soon. Anyway, that's it for today. Bye. Maybe watch one of the videos in the corner. I don't know.